Hello everyone and welcome back to Modded Minecraft with Nightdagger. This will be episode 14 of my Let's Play series. I did do a little bit of live streaming and then I did a tiny little bit of work off camera. Not a whole lot. I reorganized my power room just a little bit. I got the generator set up here in case I ever want to try and automate the supply of fuel to those. Not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. I also put a second chest up here where I can store all of the excess mulch that I'm accumulating and just other random crap that I don't feel like putting away. I did make a mining laser off camera, so that's a new thing. And I got the components ready to start something else that I've been intending to do for absolutely ages now. I have, and I did add a squeezer to this room that I currently have making some seed oil for me. I got these automated. I don't know if I did that on camera or not, but I also got the railcraft thing here automated. And I also made a lava pump station in the nether on the live stream. So now if I need lava cells, I can just go hang out there for a few minutes and get all the lava cans I need. But this episode, what I think I want to do is I want to start playing around with ta-da! Bees. In order to do that, I'm going to need to make apiaries, and in order to do that, you have to have a carpenter. You also have to have the freaking supplies to make the carpenter work. Which in this case is going to be a wooden and a gold transport pipe, or conductive pipe rather. Gonna need piece of redstone. That gets us our conductive pipes. We're going to put the wooden one there. We're going to put the gold one there. We're going to put the biogas engine up there. On here, we're going to have U and U, which we're going to connect with a bit of U. We're going to say, if you have work, give us a red pipe signal. You're going to say, if you get a red pipe signal, give a redstone signal. Need some of the lava cans, and this side of the room looks kind of dark to me, doesn't it, you? No mobs can spawn, apparently. It just looks kind of dark. So let's come over here and get some lava cans. You can see I've got quite a few together. You can also see I have quite a bit of aluminum dust racked up. That's because I have my macerator over here, or my industrial centrifuge, is currently working hard away at some bauxite. Bauxite, when it is centrifuged, gives you 16 aluminum dust, 1 titanium dust, 10 of these H cells, and 6 compressed air cells. It, however, takes 250,000 EU, and it takes 2,500 seconds. That translates to a little over 41 minutes. So it's a slow process. You can see that process has currently completed itself about 3 times. Should give a pretty good indication of how long I've been playing. Out here, my arboretum and my peat bog and my farm are still doing work. You can see everything working over here, chopping down trees for me. My bog earth production machine is currently hard at work replenishing the supply of bog earth from my machine over here. And I think also this episode I'm probably going to try and set up my humus production. It shouldn't take too much. It's just going to take a crafting logistics pipe and a supplier pipe, which I already have. But I'm not quite ready to do that yet. So I want to get these stupid bees going. I promised I would do it ages ago. I haven't done it. I need to get on it. You can also see I have a ton of wood. Let's go ahead and grab some of that ton of wood. We're going to come over here and we're going to grab this seed oil out of our squeezer. We're out of biogas. That's part of the problem. Grab the biogas out of here. And let's go ahead and supply this with 5 more cans. This one here we'll supply with, say, 5 cans and a couple cans of lava. And then here, this carpenter we're going to fill with the seed oil. The first recipe we're going to use is going to be in a row like that, or in a circle. That engine now has work to do, so it lights up. And the carpenter is going to start working on these here. Now you can't see what it is yet, because it won't tell you until it's finished it. However, once we get one out here, you'll see it is an impregnated casing. I'm actually going to want several of these things. I thought it over. I was originally intending to get my apiaries from the apiarist villager by trading with him, but he appears to have died in a zombie attack. Then I was debating getting the apiaries from just taking the ones that are in there, because, I mean, after all, apiarist villager's dead. Nobody there knows how to use the damn thing, right? But I decided against that also. So what I want to do instead is I'm going to get myself about, I don't know, 8 of these impregnated casings, and I can just leave this to work. It'll shut itself off when it's done. In the meantime, while that runs, let's come over here. We'll grab our last wooden conductive pipe. We'll grab another piece of golden transport and another piece of redstone. To make another golden conductive, let's go ahead and swap those down onto our hotbar. And you can see I have a piece of mulch and 8 pieces of dirt on me. Well, if we come over here, and we attach that, and that, and that, and then we put a supplier pipe on the back of this, and we put a crafting pipe on the top of this, and then we take the other cobblestone pipe that we have and just connect everything in the network. That is going to give us the ability to come over here, and in here we're going to put 8 pieces of dirt and a piece of mulch, which will produce humus for us, 9 pieces of humus per transaction. We can then come into here and we can tell this. Actually, we need some humus before we can do that, can't we? I'm also going to need a piece of peat, so I may as well come in here. Come over here, we'll grab a piece of peat. Why is there biogas cans in there? Whatever. And over here, I don't need anything. But over here in the dirt chest, I need some of this humus. 9 pieces to be exact. Over here, sleep through the night. And back out the door we go. It's raining. There's one other thing that I want to talk to you guys about that I will get to in a minute here, as soon as I finish programming this thing. Keep 2 pieces of peat stocked at all times. And in here we're going to tell this, if you have 8 dirt and 1 mulch, you can make 9 humus. The system now knows how to make humus. All I need is a couple of iron ore gates to program that thing. The rest of this stuff I can put away now. And do I have any iron ore gates in here? Of course I don't. I do have mulch, which I don't need anymore. I've got this dirt, which I don't need. And I've got the humus, which I don't need at the moment. By now our impregnated casings should be done. Yep, we can see it. We can tell they're done. because the status is changed to off. Now, there's another recipe that we can use. 2 pieces of wood plus seed oil gives you 2 of these sticks. We're going to want a good handful of those things. Over here, I've got a ton of these golden chipsets. I don't, however, have any iron chipsets. Need to get some more of those cooking. So, metal. Take a good half of our iron. We'll walk in here and get that cooking on iron chipsets. We'll go ahead and throw our red pipe wire in there too, because we're eventually going to need to make some more AND gates. There we go, we've got 28 impregnated sticks. Now, what do these impregnated sticks do? These are used to enhance the power of your apiaries. I will show you how in just a minute once it finishes running here. You can see for 2 pieces of wood, you get a whole whopping 2 sticks. Isn't that great? We're probably going to want to make some more sticks, because we're going to need a lot of these stupid impregnated sticks coming up in the very near future. Two, 0. If nothing else, it got us a stack of them. Now, if you come over here and you look up the use for the impregnated casing, obviously it's going to be an apiary. It's 5 wooden planks and 3 wooden slabs. So we need a little bit of just regular old wood. And we break those down like this. Actually, we're going to need quite a bit more wood than that, aren't we? Let's just take 9, break it all down. And then we have 8 apiaries. So we're going to need, actually we're only going to need 4. Man, I'm just a little short. I need 4 more planks. Thankfully, my system knows how to make them, doesn't it? Hey, give me planks. Thank you. So, apiaries in the middle. 8 and 8. 8 and 8 and 8 and 8 gives you 8 apiaries. We'll come over here to our mob drops chest. We have a ton of string. And if you use that string and surround it by these impregnated sticks, you are going to get an impregnated frame. Now these don't stack, so it's kind of a pain in the ass. We're also going to need, to get into our plants chest, we're going to need to grab these 2 yellow flowers we have. Bees like flowers. Without flowers, bees won't do jack shit. So, we'll take our apiaries, and for right now, we're just going to lay them on the outside of the building here. We'll do 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. That should be good, right? And we'll put flowers in front of that one and in front of that one. The impregnated frames, you can see the apiaries have changed a little bit since the last time I worked with bees. You still have these slots over here. They work exactly as expected. They're for the princess and the drone. This is the output slots as normal, but you have these 3 other slots here. This is where you add additive frames in. Now, you can run bees without these, but they are horrendously slow, produce almost nothing during their lifespan, and it's generally just a waste of your time. You can also make frames with just regular sticks, but they burn out really fast and they don't give much of a boost. This is the best frame you can make. the impregnated frames. There is another tier above this that is made, or that is acquired through trading with the villagers, but I don't have access to that, so I'm just going to have to deal with it, huh? I wasn't joking when I said I was going to need to get a ton more of those impregnated sticks. We're going to go ahead and fire that up and let it run. Back out the front door. In this third one here, we'll pop these first two. My inventory's starting to get messed up again. I should probably go clean it up soon. Our biogas machine has run out of work to do, so it's shut itself off. Actually, I guess it didn't run out of work, it ran out of biogas. Well, it ran out of work and biogas, so that's convenient. How are we doing for our chipsets over here? We'll be doing a lot better if we have biogas, right? Stop messing around and just give it a full stack. There we go. And I probably should at some point put the work conditional on one of these and have it telling these guys what to do. But for right now, it's okay. Cans, we're good on cans there. We need more cans here, which we'll add to here. 60, 62, 64. And it's just going to keep rolling. And that. Gives us 8 more of these stupid frames. Pop 1 of them in there. Pop 3 of them in there. 3 of them in there. 1 in there. Now, while we wait for the gates to finish, and while we wait for those sticks to finish, I did make a change to the series. Now, this was made in the idea of speeding things along, because as much as I like doing this series, I have one mod in particular on here that is very, very difficult to get started in. I'm talking, of course, about GregTech. GregTech, if you want to get started the legitimate way as the default config offers, you have to have iridium ore, which you can't get using a mass fab because mass fabs are disabled. You have to have the matter fabricator. This thing, which is ridiculously expensive. If you notice, you can't pull up the recipe right now. That is because I have disabled this part of the mod. I disabled the matter fabricator because it requires, I think, 2 iridium plates to make the thing. In order to get that, you have to have 8 iridium ore, which means you either have to find 4 of the block form of it and macerate it into the 8, or you have to have a quarry dig up 8 pieces. Considering that iridium ore only has about a 20% chance to spawn, that seemed like a ridiculously long time for me to have to work off camera in order to be able to start on GregTech. I have disabled the matter fabricator and re-enabled the mass fabricator. It is going to make GregTech a little bit overpowered for this series. It's not going to turn it into an equivalent exchange thing, though. It still takes an absurd amount of iridium to make GregTech devices. But this will allow me to show you GregTech devices without having to wait off camera for 20-30 hours while I produce UU matter. Sticks are done. Chipsets are in progress. Let's turn that off and just get it working on the gates for me. Actually, probably going to want even more gates, so let's throw that up there. Let's go make ourselves some more frames here and then get started with our bees in the morning. I'm still occasionally getting those visual flickers. I have no idea what's causing them. Over mob drops, we'll drop you off. Drop off the extra cobblestone transport pipe. We'll drop off these saplings. The cans we can toss back into our miscellaneous. Come out here and sleep. And it's daytime. Let's grab... First of all, in this chest here, let's get rid of some of the stuff that's taking up inventory space. Throw our glass up there. We don't need the wrench. We don't need the mining laser right now. We don't need the pickaxe. What we do need is a ton of bees. I'm going to grab 4 Meadows Princesses and 4 Forest Princesses. Then I'm going to grab 4 Meadows Drones. I'm going to grab 2 Forest Drones. I'm going to grab a Valiant Drone. And I'm going to grab a Modest Drone. Now the Modest one might come back to bite me in the ass in a few minutes here. But I don't have any other Forest ones to play with. So we kind of got to do what we got to do. Over here, frames, more frames, and we're good. Now, you can crossbead these You can crossbead the bees, and you can get purebred species all day long, but you want to shoot for the crossbreeds. Now, common and cultivated still exist, as far as I know. You get a chance for that by combining a mundane, meadows, forest, or modest with another one, not of its own breed. So meadows and forest will give us a chance of a cultivated when that bee dies. Or a chance of a common when that bee dies. You can see it has a cool particle effect. Here, we're going to cross a meadows with another forest. Here, we're going to cross a meadows with a valiant. I have no idea what this is going to do. And then here, we're going to cross a meadows with a modest. Now over here, we're going to do just straight forest princesses and meadows drones. There we go. That's going to give our bees something to do. I am probably going to want to run out here real quick and grab just a couple of flowers. It doesn't matter what type. But these bees all require flowers to work. Without flowers, they're just going to sit there and say, hey, I can't do anything, so I'm just going to sit here and derp. So let's go ahead and grab some of these yellow flowers. By the way, bees also make an excellent way to grow flowers without using bone meal, in case you want to have a handy supply of dye. And look, we've already got another flower. Let's give us a yellow flower in front of every apiary. We've got normal. And you can see that these bees here are already starting to lose some lifespan. This one hasn't lost quite as much because it was too far away from all of the goodies. But we're starting to get some honeycomb. Good stuff, right? And you can see the frames are starting to take damage. So we'll let the bees cook on their own. And we're going to get flowers growing inside now. That's great. Out here, our engines are off. We've got 388 buckets of fuel. We've got a lot of oil left to refine. But our biogas engines out here aren't really doing anything at the moment. At the moment, I'm okay with that. Don't really need the biogas engines to be doing anything at the moment. Food. Need food. Alright. Time for something completely different. I have a lot of rubber. I have a lot of tin. I have a not too terrible amount of refined iron. I've got quite a bit of silver now. I'm actually going to cook up some more refined iron. I'll just do it in here. There is something that I want to do that's going to require, let's see, I need 2 pieces of wood for this. Those 2 pieces of wood are going to make a chest for me. I'm also going to need a new type of logistics pipe. I'm going to need the satellite pipe, which is a basic pipe and 2 redstone. Should be easy enough to get. So we're going to take and we're going to make ourselves this satellite pipe. And over here, I'm getting a lot of H cells now. That's good. Over here, how am I going to handle this? I think what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to have a bottler to do this for me. I've got buckets. Let's see. Well, the bottler is going to run kind of slow. That's the problem. Let's go ahead and do it, though. So we're going to come up here, get my tools. We're going to come up here, and we're going to request... what's the recipe for a bottler again? Sturdy casing, 4 cans, 4 glass. So basically we just need the sturdy casing. We can go get the cans out of here. Actually, no, we don't have enough for the cans, do we? Ha! And the glass, I'm just going to pull out of here because it shouldn't be up there anyway. Alright, let's make our cans. Cans in the corner. Glass. Bottler. We're going to make another pump. I'm not going to keep you guys in suspense over this one. You've seen me make enough of the damn things. Running low on this iron stuff again. Oops. 2 sticks, please. 1 piece of redstone. I've already got all the glass I need. There's the mining well. There's the tank to make that the pump. We got the bottler. We're going to need some more redstone engines, which I taught my system how to make. And we're going to need some waterproof pipe. Now for this I could use gold waterproof, but it's not going to be a high priority thing. I'm going to use cobblestone waterproof. I'm also going to need 2 levers. And probably a handful of cobblestone besides. And last but not least, I'm going to need... Actually, you know, it occurs to me that I don't even need to do what I just did. Because I already have an infinite water source out here, don't I? So, with not too much work, I can actually modify this to supply this as well. Let's go ahead and get the bottler filling up from that. Looks like a good idea to me. We're going to need another satellite pipe, or another crafting logistics pipe, and then another supplier pipe. Just so happens I know I have a supply of suppliers in here. Crafting pipe is just 2 glowstone and a regular one. So, regular pipe, 2 glowstone, gives me a crafting pipe. Gonna need a peat-fired engine. I really should just teach all of the engines to my system. Alright, and there we go. We're going to need our buckets, at least 2 of them. What else are we going to want? I've got my wrench. We need a piece of peat. And I needed some more conductive pipe, didn't I? Wooden, golden, 2 redstone. There we go. Back out here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to piggyback this off of this line. So off of the side here, we're going to take something like that. We're going to have the peat-fired engine placed right, not there. Peat-fired engine is going to be placed right there, with the supplier on the back. We're going to need the crafting pipe on the top. Now, if I'm right and I put a water bucket in here, it should be able to fill it up once it has power, of course. Need some more cobblestone pipe, and I probably should sleep to get my bees going again. I'll come in here and grab my cobblestone pipe. Sleep through the night. How are these guys doing? Almost ready to crossbreed. I'm not going to do that this episode because I'm going to need something to facilitate that. Alright, let's go ahead and piggyback off of this system here. That's already a logistics pipe, so we can bring that out like that. This, however, is going to be an intersection. So, we got to have that. There we go. Do it just like that. Here, we need our wrench. I'm going to tell the wrench, you are going to keep 2 peat in stock at all times. And that should fire a shot of peat from our supply through the logistics network straight into this engine. So we're good to go there. This, and with this, we're going to need a water bucket. Take our water bucket, and we are going to tell this, if you give this thing an empty bucket, you will get a water bucket in return. We now have a way to automate water buckets. Why do we need a way to automate water buckets? Well, I'll show you in just a minute. The first thing that I'm going to need to do is come in here, because I'm quite sure that this is done running by now. Yep, I've got 3 iron ore gates and I'm just wasting fuel, as usual. We'll take some pipe. And in here, we're going to take the iron ore gates and the pipe wire. Ore gates, ore gates. Wire those together. Not you. Although actually you're gonna need to be wired eventually anyway, so I might as well just do it, huh? You, we're gonna tell you, has work, which if you right click, you get to has work a lot faster. Red pipe signal, you, red pipe signal, redstone signal. If we put a water bucket, or let's go ahead and dump our water bucket back out. If we put a bucket in here, it should send a has work signal. Is it not going to send a has work signal? Damn. Okay, so we can't fill buckets that way. So we're going to have to use cells. Why am I going to need to use cells? Because I need to make 10k coolant cells. Why do I need to make 10k coolant cells? Because I'm about to start making overclockers automatically. So, unfortunately, this means we're going to have to use the expensive cell recipe. This also means that our system's going to have to know how to make the expensive cells. So, let's go ahead and grab a few more. There we go, empty cell. We're going to come down here, we're going to find whichever one of these crafting tables isn't used yet, and we're going to tell it how to make empty cells. Import the recipe. Now over here, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to have a treasure chest at the end of this, and we're going to have our satellite logistics pipe on here. Satellite ID on this is going to be 1. We're going to come back to that in a minute. Although this episode's starting to run on 40 minutes, so I need to hurry it up. Yeah, I'm going to wait on the bees. So here we need to clear this recipe. This no longer works. We know it doesn't work. We're going to tell it, you put in an empty cell, you're eventually going to get, you're going to get a water cell. So our system should now theoretically know how to make water cells. Let's come up here and try that. We're going to put in a request here for 3 water cells. Actually, no, we're just going to put a request in for 1 water cell. Requested 1 water cell. Request successful. It's going to send the tin up here to make the cells because it doesn't have any in its inventory. And then it's going to send that cell out there into the bottler. That's going to give a has work signal. The bottler is going to fill that cell. Now it's running off a peat engine, so this is going to be slow. I'll probably replace that with a biogas engine. But it made our cell for us and it coughed it up. There it is. While we wait for this, let's wait. Let's go ahead and get 4 more tin. Let's go ahead and request 3 more water cells. It's going to take a while for it to produce that, so we'll come over here in the meantime. Now this one, we've taught how to make cells. This one, we're going to teach how to make a 10k coolant cell. Now 10k coolant cells still do not stack. the recipe just got more expensive. Once we get done with that, and actually, something has occurred to me. I didn't really need to request these water cells, did I? I needed to request the coolant cells directly. But that's okay. As soon as our bottler's done coughing up the last one, which it just finished, I think there might be one more coming. Yep. Let's go ahead and take these down here and put these in the system. We'll put them in miscellaneous for now. We're also going to want to get a regular circuit. And a couple of pieces of copper wire. So here we're going to request 2 pieces of copper wire, 1 electronic circuit. We're also going to request of the system 3 10K coolant cells. Our system now knows how to make those. It's going to send a crap ton of tin up there. It's going to combine it with the water cells, and it's going to drop them out for us. And then we're going to come up here, and in this crafting table, oh, nope, that one is housing our gold ingot recipe. We're going to have to move it. It's okay, we'll change it. Here, we're going to tell this thing, oops, no, come back here. We're going to tell this thing 3 10K coolant cells, 2 copper cables, and an electronic circuit is going to make an overclocker. Now, we can import that here, but it's not going to work. Those have to be moved over to the satellite. It's now smart enough to know that. It knows that they can't stack, so it says, hey, you need a satellite for this to work. The satellite has to be a chest touching that. So if you click over here, it transports those over to the satellite, and you can set the satellite ID, and now our system knows how to make overclocker upgrades. Let's test that out. Now, I don't want to wait for the pump to fill, because I'm at 43 minutes in climbing. So I'm not going to wait for the pump to fill these water cells. I'm going to come out here and do it manually. I'm going to replace that with a biogas engine. So we have 3 water cells. We'll toss those into the system. We'll come over here and we're going to right click on this and we're going to say, hey, crafting system, give us an overclocker. It's going to send the 3 water cells, a whole crap load of tin, some copper, some rubber, the components for electronic circuits, and overclocker upgrade. Which we can now put into one of our machines, not like that, and we have overclocking. And now I think this episode has gone on long enough for the moment, so this has been Nightdagger with Let's Play Modded Minecraft episode 14. Provided I don't lose power tonight, episode 15 will be sometime tomorrow. And in episode 15, we are going to work on further sorting our power generation, because I'm getting to a point where I don't want to have to rely on fuel for power. I want a more reliable source. And we're also going to dink around with the bees a little bit more. So we should have some fun doing that, and I'll catch you later.